videos, and I was all on this political kick, and it was a part of my life where I was learning about the world and how the system works, and, you know, coming of age, and it got to the point where I was just getting too involved in other people's business, and that's not something I really like to do. You know, if I see something that I really believe is wrong, then I'm gonna speak to it. If I feel God pushing me to get into, you know, if it's, then that's, I can't just, for me, it's more incriminating to not speak on a godly injustice than it is to go along with the crowd or go along with history. So, you know, I'm a Christian. I believe in the Son of God and the covenant of God. Whether that makes you think of the God of Abraham, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Mashmit, however you say it. I don't like the name Yahweh. I don't really like the name Elohim. Both of those sound like demonic names to me. But I know it has a lot to do with Hebrew, speaking in tongues. Anyways, I believe that as a human being, we have a relationship with God, and we are tainted, we are broken. We are not equal to God, we are less than God. He created us with the opportunity, but just the way of the world is, we're born into sin, we're less than Him, and it is His sacrifice, which was the Son of God, the teachings of Jesus Christ, whatever, you know, Christ the King, Yeshua. Based on my life experience, I believe God is God. I believe that the way He came to me was through a prophet or through a disciple of Jesus Christ. I can't accredit it to anything else, but I definitely understand like God as God, which was probably like the Old Testament God, and then His reaching out to us Gentiles through Jesus Christ or through Yeshua, you know, the Son of God, the blood of Christ, our forgiveness as a wicked human being. That being said, I am super tolerant of other religions. I am super tolerant of you know, other cultures. I'm super interested in learning about and experiencing other cultures and enlightening. And I believe that a lot of other cultures that might be opposed to like Westernism or Western expansion, or like as history is, they might feel as they were the ones that were enslaved or you know, chastised or ostracized. I believe a lot of that has to do with, you know, like the Old Testament Jews were witches, right? Sorcerers and stuff like that. So I'm not saying I support witchcraft, but a lot of ancient cultures prior to God are labeled today as witchcraft, whereas at the time they were a contact with God. I believe that was prior to the necessity of Jesus Christ, the blood of Christ, the forgiveness of. So, and then a lot of the cultures, they start enslaving other cultures. You know, Aztec, the Mayans, whites. Almost every European culture enslaved the African Americans, which is terrible. Native Americans to each other, and then from the Spanish and the British to enslaving them. And whatever the case, there's no excuse. There's no mentality that I see as Christianity excusing slavery. Sure, the Apostle Paul speaks on slavery, but the truth is he was a murderer who murdered hundreds of Christians or Jews or whatever, and it's Jesus' teachings that we should be following. And none of Jesus' teachings said go enslave a weaker race or go. And a lot of times, once a race or a civilization becomes technological advanced enough to enslave another culture or to, you know, monopolize God in ways that are unjust or unholy, that's when they get destroyed, or that's when they get humiliated, or that's when so as I was saying, you know, I'm a Christian. That is my belief. I love learning about other cultures, ancient cultures, Indian, West Indian, East Indian, Native American. What I don't have any tolerance for is someone who has, from my experience, from all my suffering, from all my pain, when a person is really in struggle and in need based on injustices, they're looking for food and water. They're looking for opportunity. They're not looking for theft and for extortion and for advantage. They might be looking for advantage in a righteous way, in a just way, but they're not looking. If it's at that point, it's most likely a struggle of life and death. There's most likely violence, and it's a struggle of violence, and that's what the mark of the beast is to me. Is when one man decides to violently extort and take advantage of another man, whether it's woman, man, whether it's woman, man, or whatever the case. There's a difference between seeking God as a savior and as a protector, or as trying to use the devil as a means of extortion and hate. That it's totally different. Okay? And speaking for that today, in America, the United States of America, all history aside, all history aside, we have to realize there's not the extent of slavery today is I didn't want to get into this. Okay, what I don't have any patience for is from my religion, Christianity. I don't go pushing my religion on people. I don't go praying and worship and prosecuting and evangelical preaching. I don't go preaching and praying to people who don't want it and who don't support it. My religion is to pray for my enemies. You have to go out of your way to mess with me or my life to be my enemy. And that's what I'm speaking on today in this video, is that there's this, it doesn't happen so much in women, but in men, they're gonna know what I'm talking about. There's this group of men that have plenty of resources, plenty of opportunities. There's housing opportunities, there's unemployment opportunities, there's career opportunities, there's schooling opportunities, there's loans, there's everything, there's food stamps, there's men, that's your necessities. Your necessities as men is to not have another human being to possess, a younger male to possess, someone who doesn't practice your witchcraft, or someone who doesn't practice your religion to have as a sacrifice, or a virgin, or blah 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 blah. No, save that crap. I'm so tired of it. I'm speaking from a Christian's point of view. I don't care if you consider yourself a Christian, a witch, any religion group, whatever you are. If you feel like you need to have another male lesser than you in order to succeed, you are the mark of the beast. Whether that makes you a Spanish witch, evil Christian, a white supremacist, whatever it is, race, money doesn't have anything to do with it. America is too good of a country. Now, God forgive us for, there's certain things, that political issues that still need to be addressed, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the male who has a truck and a house and kids and money and all that, and he feels like he still needs to step on someone else who's trying to build a legacy for himself. And we all know what that means, whether that's stalking them, harassing them, tailgating them, possessing them, cursing them, whatever it is. If you're using someone else to better your situation, and you know it's making them uncomfortable, and you know it's bettering your situation and not theirs, you're weak. You're weak. People need to learn to fight their demons on their own. They don't need another human being to come defecate and urinate on them. And to me, a male who does this is not. Even as a Christian, I get along very well with 8 times out of 10. I get along very well with homosexuals. They're very loving. They're very entertaining people. To me, the F word, F-A-G-G-O-T, that it's a male who considers himself straight. He's heterosexual, but he's obsessed with just watching other males and following them and stepping on them and riding them. But he doesn't go up and challenge them to fight. He doesn't. It's like he takes the weakest form of battle. It usually is witchcraft, and I'm not hating on witches. I love witches. If you consider yourself a witch, God bless you, or I hope the best for you. But if you go out of your way to put spells on me and put cursing on me and stalk me and harass me for the betterment of your witchcraft or for your religion or for your spiritual life, you are the weakest. You are the mark of the beast to me, and you need to understand that as the mark of the beast, the covenant that I have with God is one of you for success. Yeah, sure, I believe in the New World Order, but believe me, any type of covenant that I have with God as a Christian is going to end in you suffering, you dying, you losing your resources, your relationships being destroyed, your mentality being destroyed. As the world is today, as God, you don't have to call it a Christian nation. You don't have to call it a Jesus following nation. But the nation that I serve, that I have as a covenant, I'm a member of this nation, the United States of America, and I know what it is. I know what it is today, and it's not. And I know it's what I was born into, and that's a nation of the God of Abraham, of which in other languages turns into the God of Jesus Christ. So you have to know that I'm not gonna. If my enemies can come to sense and come to God, then I hope the best for you, and I hope you can use your pain and your scars to better the world today for you and your people. But if your idea of that is stepping on other males in a way that's so weak, you come across like a angry ex-wife, then man, you're the mark of the beast. You're the mark of the beast. So please, let this be I have to have some good intention here on earth, and I have the best intention of all religions: Christians, Islam, Muslim, Mormon, Catholic, all Christian denominations, all witchcraft denominations. I stand for respect as a Christian, as a follower of Jesus Christ, Yeshua, the God of Abraham. I stand for respect, privacy, distance, and love. And sometimes love is not looking at other people. Sometimes love is giving people their space and allowing people to have their groups and their standards. And it's not the Bible and this is me again. I'm not speaking, and I know that every group can live by that. I can speak testament that every group can live happily by those rules. Now, if your group is pushing you to go out of the way, just realize you're serving the devil. To go out of the way to attack other human beings unrighteously, that to me that is the mark of the beast. And from my opinions, from my teachings, from my understandings, from my walk with God, that's the devil. And the devil's already lost. The devil's already, end times are not going to be good for the devil. End times are not going to be good for the devil. You know, there may be one Antichrist who rises above, who the spirit of the Antichrist, you know, I can't speak for that, but like, in terms of what God promises me today, and while I'm alive on earth, I know what the battle is. I know what the blessings are. And all I have to do is find my enemies and start praying for them in the name of Christ. And God's gonna, I'm not gonna, the sacrifice was already made. Jesus Christ, the sacrifice, the Son of God, U.S.A, already died on the sin in the Hebrew translation. And he already died on the cross. Yeah, sure, there's persecution and suffering as a Christian, but 9 times out of 10, it's not because God's bringing you up to be sacrificed. That's the lie of the Antichrist. It's that we are like Christ. No, we have the gifts of the Spirit, of the Holy Spirit, but we aren't Christ. We aren't perfect enough to be Christ. That's a demonic that's a witchcraft lie. That's a demonic lie. I won't even attack the witches. That's a demonic lie. That's a devil. That's a lie from Satan. And the truth is, from my opinion, is that a lot of time Christian persecution is because God is eliminating sin from our life that is stopping the blessings we are asking for, but we aren't getting because of the sin of our life. God purifies his gold with fire. So it's not like we're being persecuted to be led up and be beaten and be crucified and sacrificed. That's a demonic lie, in my opinion. We're being persecuted as Christians so God can make us a perfect people. So God can make us as close to perfect as possible. So God can make us, so he can bring us up to be holy leaders and holy inheritance and holy prophets and holy inventors and holy, and even witches come to Christ. And I hope all religions can come to the Savior, the covenant of the God of Abraham. But that's for them in the time of God, because my religion speaks that no man can be brought to God until God prepares them. So it's not my religion, as the God I serve, it's not my duty to prepare an ungodly race. Now it is my duty to pray for my enemies and to protect my people in my life. And that's what this video is about, is to avoid, as Americans, avoid the mark of the beast. Avoid extorting someone that you see as weaker or lesser than you to benefit yourself in any and all costs, in all ways, spiritual and physical. And at the end of the day, stop thinking you know better than someone else. Stop thinking that unless someone's asking you for help, they might not need your help, and your help might actually be a burden and a curse. So, because in reality, a lot of times if you feel, unless it's straight up giving someone money or giving someone physical that they will accept, that's really, you know, a lot of times your idea of help is a superiority complex, and I'm speaking from experience. So take that as who we are as Americans today. So I hope everyone has a wonderful, I hope and pray to the glory of God, of Abraham, the father of Jesus Christ, or U.S.A, that everyone in America has good respect for each other, has good privacy, has good understanding, has good ideas, has good privacy, good state of mind, good peace of mind, good understanding in life, good motivation, good drive. I pray that we have good defenses, that we don't fall under any attacks that aren't appreciated by the military, and just we can all be at peace with here on this nation and use the resources and learn from history that we don't repeat itself, and bless who we have today, so we don't need to go conquer other countries, and we can let the other countries go into God's hands. But if we need to fight, we can have boxing rings, or people can, men can have their fist fights in the street. But we don't need to be extorting and harassing and stalking and taking advantage of each other and using our religions against each other. And 9 times out of 10, that's initiated by someone who strikes first. We don't need to be striking first spiritually against each other. We don't need to be divided. In history, nations have enormous growths of technology and abundance and strength and all these things when they work together. But when you go out of your way to extort other nations, 666, the mark of the beast, and Jesus, rebuke that. That's when we fail. And trust me, based on all my experiences of life, prison, murder, and I'm not talking about me killing people, but being around murderers, prison, rape, prostitution, money, racing, adrenaline, drug education, hate, love, all my life experiences, 31 years on earth, it points to you might as well appreciate what you have. Sometimes you got to tell people how you feel. Sometimes you got to explain things to people. But in terms of violence, it's usually not necessary. It's a self-defense. It's a self-defense. That's my belief. Martyrdom is one thing. Martyrdom is pretty extreme, but that's a personal choice. I'm not going to portray everyone to be martyrs. I suggest, from my experience, I go by, if that's for something for you to pray about. From my experience, in order to enjoy life, it's hard to explain, but you don't have violent, but we shouldn't be messing with each other. So I'll wrap it up. I hope everyone has a good day, good cars running good, everything good in Jesus' name, and whatever your religion is. But I know what I serve: one God and one King. So